purpose of the Digital Leadership Forum is to help you innovate, learn and grow in the age of AI. The purpose is to look at how we can accelerate the adoption of AI by large organisations across the UK. And so the idea behind that is that you can hopefully, through the successful application of AI and machine learning, you'll be able to discover new levels of productivity, and you'll also be able to gain advantages in a whole variety of ways.
One of the questions I often get is, why Intel? Why did Intel get involved with this initiative? If you look at the forecast, by 2025, 25% of all the data generated will be created in real time, with 95% of that data coming from IoT devices. Well, you can't extract the value from that kind of data stream without AI. By 2021, 75% of all enterprise applications will include elements of AI within them. So we recognize that AI is actually a potentially daunting topic to many people, and believe it's critical for businesses to have a foundational understanding of what it can do.
The idea of this session was we felt it was important to kind of have a grounding or a foundation for the rest of the program. One of the common themes around AI is there's obviously a lot of buzzwords, there's a lot of terminology which might be new to some of the members but less new to others, and so we felt that it was important to start with a little bit of a grounding on some of the definitions and the nomenclature. For example, what's the difference between machine learning and deep learning? What's a neural network? What's a framework? What's TensorFlow? Some of these terms that you might have heard, some of them you might already know, but we just want to make sure everyone's starting on the same page. We're going to try and make this not a history lesson per se, but also give you a little bit of an example about how AI works and how we've got to where we are today. Clearly this is going to be relatively high level, and we'll try and make it specific and relevant to the domains that we think people are working in. We'll try and give some examples of what are some of the common problems that are solved with AI today, give you some real life examples. I'll just pick one to give you one highlight. Ian talked about a company that was doing work on pipe inspection and water networks. We'll give you examples of how, in that example, they saved half of their cost. They have a 90% accuracy rate looking at the quality and the maintenance necessity of pipe work underground, how they do it faster than a human, how they get 300% ROI over 3 years. So we'll try and give you lots of those examples. The other thing we're just going to try and be conscious of is your first reaction when you see some AI proof points might be that it's interesting, but that it's not necessarily valid for your industry. And we're appreciative of the fact that we have a large number of different industries represented in the membership base. And so I'm not going to ask this as a formal poll, but I would imagine that if I asked how many people in the audience run a bat sanctuary as part of their business, I suspect I wouldn't see a massive forest of trees shoot up. But for example, we do know that the technology that one customer has used to listen to the noises of bats to understand their behavior, the same technology is applicable to looking at flaws in solar panels. So a key theme will be that the underlying technology, whilst the proof points might be very specific, the underlying technology is often reusable across multiple industries. So we might have a bit of fun with, putting some wacky use cases out there that on the surface you might think aren't relevant, but then we'll kind of, peel away the layers and explain how actually that technology can be applied to other industries. We're going to have a couple of people join us for this session. A colleague of mine, Walter Riviera, who's not joining us today, but will be here in the future. He's a colleague at Intel who in his past life was actually a practicing data scientist. So he's actually done data science, rolled his sleeves up and done the work. So he has a particular viewpoint that'll be different to mine. And we'll also have some colleagues with us from one of our partner companies, Datatonic. Datatonic are a UK-based AI practitioner. They've done a lot of very interesting work, for example, with the retailer Lush that you may know, that sells all of the kind of funky soaps and things that you see in the high street. They've got some real good examples of how AI has been used to solve problems. So think of this as the foundational session that hopefully sets the scene for the program to come.